delegation-level talks with his Nepalese counterpart Sher Bahadur Deuba. Both sides inked 4 MOUs. India and Australia sign economic cooperation and trade agreement. President Kovind holds bilateral talks with his Turkmenistan counterpart. Assam Cabinet takes major decisions pertaining to land measurement and issuance of caste certificates. And Assam Mizoram resolves to maintain status quo at interstate border. A very good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Sukanya Bharadwaj, bringing you the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with his Nepalese counterpart Sher Bahadur Deuba in New Delhi today. During the talks, both the leaders reviewed the progress in partnership between the two countries and discussed ways to further the India-Nepal cooperation agenda. Later, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nepalese Prime Minister Bahadur Deuba jointly launched several projects. They flagged off the 35-kilometer-long cross-border passenger train service between Jayanagar of Bihar in India and Kurta in Nepal. They also jointly inaugurated Solu Corridor 132 kV power transmission line and substation in Nepal built under Government of India's line of credit. The two prime ministers launched RuPay card in Nepal. On this occasion, 4 MOUs were inked by both the countries.
भारत और नेपाल की दोस्ती, हमारे लोगों के आपसी संबंध, ऐसी मिसाल विश्व में कहीं और देखने को नहीं मिलती।
India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement was signed today. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and Trade, Tourism and Investment Minister of Australia, Dan Tehan, signed this agreement. The agreement was signed in a virtual ceremony in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison. Speaking on this occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the agreement was finalized in a short span of time, which showed that India and Australia share mutual trust. Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison, said pace and scale of India-Australia cooperation is remarkable. President Ram Nath Kovind today held delegation-level talks with his Turkmenistan counterpart Sardar Bardi Muhammadov in Ashgabat. Several MOUs were also signed between India and Turkmenistan during the talks. During the meeting, state and prospects of bilateral relations between both the countries were discussed. Both the leaders also exchanged their views on various regional and international issues of importance. India and Turkmenistan have also agreed to intensify efforts to further strengthen the multifaceted partnership, economic relations and bilateral ties. Union Minister and BJP leader Kiren Rijiju said that the recent decision to withdraw Armed Forces Special Powers Act AFSPA from major areas of Assam, Nagaland and Manipur is a revolutionary decision. He said when AFSPA is withdrawn, it means that peace has returned to that area. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi today, Rijiju said some areas are still under the act, which will be removed in coming days when the situation normalizes.
NLFT जो त्रिपुरा का है, उसका एग्रीमेंट किया था अगस्त 2019 में, फिर ब्रू रियांग का जो 23-year-old क्राइसिस था रेफ्यूजी का, उसको सेटल किया है और 37,000 जो डिस्प्लेस लोगों को फिर पुनः स्थापित करना, इस तरीके से एक के बाद एक जो सेटलमेंट किया है उसी के बदौलत आज इतना लार्ज एरिया से आर्म फोर्सेस स्पेशल पावर्स एक्ट को हटाने में कामयाब हुआ है.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today said that the third list of defence items will be released in a week's time to encourage domestic sector. He said the government has taken several steps to promote domestic industry in defence sector towards Atmanirbharta, including raising FDI and transfer of technology from DRDO. Speaking at the Diamond Jubilee celebration of Chetak helicopter in Hyderabad, the minister emphasized the need to focus on design development of 10-ton Indian multi-role helicopter to become a global leader. He said India has already showed its strength in the design, development and operation in the 5-ton category.
फोर्सेस के लिए भी यह एक सिग्निफिकेंट रिक्वायरमेंट भी है। 1971 के मुक्ति संग्राम की गोल्डन जुबली भी मनाई इतिहास।
Assam Cabinet today took several major decisions pertaining to land measurement, extending school coverage, issuance of caste certificates, conservation of nature and infrastructural development. Briefing media on today's State Cabinet decisions, Health Minister Keshab Mahanta said that the Cabinet has given approval to substitution of 1.5 katha of residential plot of land in notified municipal corporation and board town committee areas for measurement with square feet. The State Cabinet has modified guidelines for issuance of caste certificates, including nature of documents required for establishing eligibility for getting caste certificates to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma today inspected the construction works of the 22.5 megawatt Gonal hydropower project at Chibragre in West Garo Hills and instructed the concerned departments and administration to ensure construction completion of the hydropower project. Once completed, the hydropower project will greatly benefit the power deficit state. Chief Minister Sangma today distributed checks amounting to Rs 1.7 crore among 50 farmers producer groups at Asnanang in West Garo Hills district. In the tweet, Sangma said that Meghalaya Democratic Alliance government is committed to farmers' welfare and it is being reflected in state government's people-centric public service. In its continuous crackdown on drugs peddlers, the Manipur police today arrested 2 individuals along with 92 soap cases of brown sugar, which is valued around 7.6 crore. Expressing serious concern on drug menace in the state, Chief Minister Biren Singh in a tweet said, among the 2, the persons who identified himself as D. Letkulan Haukip was found to be a police constable currently posted at Churchandpur Police Reserve Line. An FIR has been registered under NDPS Act and efforts are on to nab the kingpins. Mizoram and Assam will continue to maintain status quo along the interstate boundary, a minister said in Aizawl on Friday. The 2 northeastern states held a meeting via video conference amid allegations by Assam that Mizoram was continuously violating the status quo by constructing roads along the interstate border. Mizoram Home Minister Lal Chamliana said it was agreed in the meeting to maintain the status quo in the disputed areas along the interstate boundary. Both sides have also agreed to hold a high-level talk to resolve the long-standing border dispute, he said. In Meghalaya, the interstate bus terminus ISBT at Mamyong, which was inaugurated extravagantly by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah last year, became functional from Friday. All facilities have been set up at ISBT by the Meghalaya Transport Corporation. The government has earlier set a target to make the ISBT functional before Meghalaya celebrates its 50th statehood day on January 21st this year. The terminus was constructed at a cost of 48.31 crore rupees funded by Northeastern Council. Following the ISBT's grand inauguration last year, the State Transport Department had handed it over to Meghalaya Transport Corporation to make it functional.
Initial stage, so we cannot see any.
Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Deb today flagged off 5 ambulances in South Tripura. The Chief Minister in a tweet said this is the second consecutive month that the Tripura government has deployed ambulances equipped with modern health facilities on the ground. Last month, Chief Minister Deb flagged off 16 ambulances. The Biplab Kumar Deb government in Tripura has given stress on improving state's health infrastructures. In Nagaland, World Autism Day was celebrated at Joe Foundation Inclusive School, Kohima today with State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, Dethono Nakro, as a guest speaker. The State Commissioner in a speech said this year's theme for World Autism Awareness Day, Inclusive Quality Education for All, was chosen to draw attention to the disruption of education, especially for autistic children, due to the pandemic. Despite the numerous constraints that exist, she appreciated the inclusive school for providing quality education to the children. In IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians were 135 for 4 in 14.2 overs against Rajasthan Royals at D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai when reports last came in. Rajasthan Royals have set a victory target of 194 runs for Mumbai Indians. Put into bat, Rajasthan scored 193 runs for 8 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Later in the evening, Gujarat Titans will clash against Delhi Capitals in Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune. To end the news, the main points once again. PM Modi holds delegation-level talks with his Nepalese counterpart Sher Bahadur Deuba. Both sides ink 4 MOUs. India and Australia sign economic cooperation and trade agreement. President Kovind holds bilateral talks with his Turkmenistan counterpart. Assam Cabinet takes major decisions pertaining to land measurement and issuance of caste certificates. And Assam-Mizoram resolved to maintain status quo at interstate border. That brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.